Welcome back to Sailing Soulianis. I'm Lauren, and this is Kirk and our little girl, Renata.
Ring, ring, hello? Hello, is this the Renata telephone?
Right now, you're catching us in Marathon in the Florida Keys, where we're about to meet up with some friends to do a bunch of fun things on and in the water.
Hello?
That is, of course, if we can ever get a call through to them.
Let me try this again. Extension. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Oh, is anyone there?
Randi and Jordan of Learning the Lines have a daughter the same age as Renata, and we were pretty excited to get together for the first time since they were born.
So it is currently 7 o'clock in the morning. We have a cold front that is moving through, and we are going to go kiteboarding today. We're going to meet up with Jordan and Randi from Learning the Lines. Jordan used to be a kiteboard instructor. So hopefully today we finally put an end to the saga of me wanting to learn how to kiteboard. It's been a story about 7 years in the running. Every single year for my birthday in March, I say, this is the year I'm gonna learn how to kiteboard. I even bought kiteboarding gear 2 years ago, and it's mostly been sitting around. I've taken it out a few times, but the older I get, the more I realize that one bad yoga move can put me down for a week. No sport has ever scared me like kiteboarding has. And the more I've been very concerned about safety. I've really wanted to just learn from somebody who knows about kiteboarding, how to set up everything safely, about how to know which size kite to use and what wind speeds, know what to do in certain situations, just make sure my gear is all set up right. I know how to wakeboard, I know how to sail, I know how to fly a kite, but just putting it all together and being safe so I know that I'm not gonna seriously injure myself now that my bones and muscles are getting a bit old. We got a freaking perfect place to kite today. Nice shallow water, sand on the bottom. That's how it's pulling him, and he weighs 20 pounds less than me. And this would be our biggest hurdle today. The wind was barely strong enough for the kites we had, and it was incredibly gusty. Now he's cruising. I think he just had to get out there in the clean air. So I would definitely be crapping my pants way out there. Especially right now, because I don't really know what I'm doing. The wind is cross shore, so like, we're at the end of the key here. We're now like, if I get dragged downwind, I'm in the next channel, the next key. I mean, luckily we have the skiff here. He can come pick me up, but meanwhile, I'm just dragging downwind, being shark bait. What do you think? Do you think I can do it, Renata? Huh?
I always think it's funny when people like think wind is dangerous for kiting, and I'm like, that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, you need it. I mean, inherently, yes, the wind is dangerous because kiting is dangerous.
True.
So,
True.
if you don't have the wind, you're not kiting, and if you're not kiting, you're not in danger. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Jordan's gonna launch the kite. We're gonna walk out there and then transfer it and put the board on the boat. That way we'll have the board out there and I'll be able to fly the kite around in the shallows.
Thanks. Good luck, lad.
Thank you. The sun's out again at least. It's a lot less ominous.
So Kirk has flown a kite a few times before, but it is very gusty today. Looks like he's trying to brush up on the basics before hopping on the board.
After about a dozen attempts, it was pretty clear I needed a bigger board and kite for the amount of wind that we had. But I still learned a lot and gained quite a bit of confidence in the process.
Yeah, buddy. Jordan's kicking off round 2.
wind's piped up quite a bit, and we've got the 12 meter out now. I was flying the 8 meter earlier just to get a good feel for how it all works, but man, it looks easier now with more wind and the larger kite. Like the kite doesn't have to zip around back and forth through the power window just to ride. And it just is like, it just looks so easy. Oh, almost took a digger. There's so much power. It's just like, it's kind of intense. But once you know how to control the power, it's just so peaceful and graceful looking. It's freaking cool. Nice! Oh, you want to be on camera too? Hi! Yeah! So this is how most afternoons have been going on the boat lately. We get up and we do breakfast. We come out into the cockpit, and we've been feeding Renata solid food, so we give her some food, we eat a little bit of tea and grapefruits, we put her down, and then Renata and I come back up into the cockpit when she wakes up and give Lauren some time to work on the computer. So this is daddy-daughter cockpit time. All right. Yeah. It's very difficult for us to both be productive these days. So Lauren works for a couple of hours and I watch her, and then I do a few things.
A couple hours?
Yeah, a couple hours.
Like total?
Total.
Your day?
Yeah, Lauren's giving me a bunch of baloney. Bunch of baloney. What I wanted to say was that yesterday was an amazing day at the beach, and none of it would have been possible without Jordan and Randy. So thank you guys so much for letting us borrow your car, for taking us kiting, for teaching me how to kite, for putting your boat in the water. All of it. It was awesome, and we're looking forward to doing more of it. So thanks guys, it was a really fun day.
So how do we find ourselves on a catamaran? Jordan and Randy were taking this one out with the hopes of reviewing it on their channel, and they invited us to join for the weekend. Though so far it wasn't exactly the trip that we were planning on. We were sailing through some fairly shallow waters, and the wind was whipping up some really uncomfortable short period chop.
Just turned off the wind, things have cooled down a little bit, but it was pretty ugly for a little while.
Hard. I'm assuming not feeling very good.
No, not really.
I'm not feeling good either.
Really?
If she feels better, she wants to get the time on her time on the help.
Yeah, I'll ask her.
Now's a good time. Sometime soon.
Water is like this.
We're getting to where we want to go. Yeah, get it.
are we? No, we're just chilling. Just straight chilling. Yeah. Oh, there he goes! Oh no! Oh, yeah, oh no! You do it?
Well, that was a sail. We had one puker and two other not feel so gooders. Renata and I killed it. I don't know how Morgan did, she didn't tell us. I was a little disappointed with the performance of this boat. It's a 40-foot catamaran, Nautitech, open 40. Saw 25 knots true wind at a few times today, but mostly it was in the high teens to the low 20s from like the port aft corner. I was thinking we were gonna be hauling ass. We never went above 8.5. I think we were still working on tweaking the sails and all of that stuff early on, but
I feel like I'm walking.
Still, I was surprised. We didn't sail a whole lot faster than our boat would have sailed. But we decided to call it quits a bit early. Our goal was to get to the Marquesas Keys, and we turned into Boca Grande Key. And we are now navigating some back channel to get to some mooring that Jordan knows about. He's still promised us dinner, fish dinner. We didn't catch anything while under sail, so now he's got to spear something. Jordan's on the hook, no pun intended. Or pun intended, I think, actually. We'll bring you back dinner, okay, baby? Bye. Oh, that's glorious.
We're driving cars on a Mars tonight. We're passing off to the stars tonight. We wanna go, go. We wanna go, go.
What did you think about this morning's sail?
I thought you were gonna talk about the fish. That's what I think about it. 3 out of 4 of us got sick.
3 out of 4 adults.
Yeah.
Felt sick. Only one of us got sick.
The motion was.
And it wasn't
yeah.
me! In Jordan's defense, I was not looking at the screen and actually trying to do stuff. I was just concentrating on the horizon. So sorry,
Yeah.
I took this
No,
over.
you're
She did take this over.
The other Molten Hall we were kind of comparing it to in our minds because we just sailed the Seawind 1160. That was night and day. The 1160 was a much easier boat to sail.
Yeah, I can only compare it to our boat. So we had 25 knots of wind today. Probably can't hear me from all the wind noise, but I'm looking forward to actually anchoring. We probably would have been double reefed with a furled head sail on our boat. There were pretty big swells out there. I mean, I think, would have been a little more conservative than we were in this boat. Like, this boat felt like we were removed from the conditions of the sea state almost. The boat didn't heel over in gusts, so we couldn't really feel the rig stressing. I mean, this boat has 6.5 feet of freeboard. Until we were starting to get like 6 foot rolling breaking swells, we weren't even really noticing the waves all that much other than the massive amounts of slamming on the bridge deck and the hard chines on the outside of the hulls.
Yeah.
I think comparing the performance to our boat, I mean, we would have been sailing at probably 6.5, 7.5 knots. And Jordan claims he saw 11 this morning.
Very briefly.
I only saw 8.2 or 8.3. We started upwind and then fell way off the wind and we're going at like 140 degrees apparent. At that point, we're only doing 6 knots, so with 25 knots of wind, true and apparent, we're pretty close. But to be fair, they were pretty steep breaking seas, so.
I don't know. It wasn't the best sail in the world.
The ergonomics of this cockpit are horrible. That is my biggest takeaway. This is not an easy boat to sail.
It was just kind of set up where it was hard to shorthand.
Not an easy boat to sail even with 2 people. Like everything happens like right in this area, and there's like no room to stand here on top of a sea of spaghetti and like a 1.5 feet before you're falling off the back of the boat. All of the electronics and auto helm and like everything, electric winch, like still it was difficult just because of the poor ergonomics. What's happening over here?
Got a big hunks of granola.
I do have to say though, this is a hell of a nice cockpit to hang out in at anchor.
Yeah, after all the ragging on this boat.
Yeah.
What we're doing right now.
This is its best feature.
I'm sitting in like a deck chair.
Yeah, this is nice. This is its best feature of this boat by far. And a hot freshwater shower. Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so there's some pretty cool things about this boat.
It's officially a catamaran now.
Yeah.
We got a beer and a couch. Cheers.
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 Caught a bunch of fish.
Yeah.
4 snapper in what, like 40 minutes? Oh, it smells good, man.
It smells like fresh snapper, man. It has a distinct smell, I feel like.
Very fresh snapper. Here I go, doing my least favorite thing.
Having spent a few weeks on our boat in Boca Key, a notoriously fertile spot for bottom growth, we decided to spend a day on the hook outside the harbor to clean the bottom and do a little fishing and snorkeling with Jordan and Randy.
I really appreciate it.
It's like 3 feet.
The ocean.
I don't wanna be lonely when winter is freezing and trees start to blow.
First time in the water this year.
And I don't wanna be sitting alone in a room that's just filled with my soul.
Holy crap. Is it 20 feet here? It's only like 15, isn't it? It feels like 20.
Cause you don't know me and I don't know you, but it breaks my heart. You looking so blue on the last day here.
Gotta remember how to relax. That is the best view.
What's going on down there? So you're dipping carrots into the hummus that's sitting on the floor? Because you're scraping off the top.
Yeah. Mostly.
And that's how you know you married the right one. think unfortunately it means our days are numbered on this boat.